A god fell, and no one was there to see it happen. No footsteps, no sound of struggle, and then morning came, and the priests walked in and froze, because their god, the one they feared, the one they bowed to, was lying face down on the ground. So answer this: who touched it? Who walks into a sealed temple, past locked doors, past guarded walls, and knocks down a god without making a sound? Because the night before, that same statue stood tall, untouchable, unquestioned, and right beside it, something had been placed. Not an army, not a weapon, just a box, a sacred box, carried in by enemies, taken in battle, treated like a trophy. But what if it wasn't a trophy? What if they brought something into that temple that didn't belong there? Morning turned to panic. They lifted their god back up, set it in place, tried to erase what they saw. But deep down, they knew something wasn't right. So let me ask you, if it fell once, what happens when night comes again? Because it did. And the second time, there was no confusion, no denial, no excuses. By morning, the god was down again. But this time, his head was gone, his hands were severed, and they were placed at the entrance, like a message, like a warning, like something had walked into that temple in the night and decided, this ends here. So now the question isn't what happened. The real question is, who was in that room? And if he could do that, in total silence, what would happen if he ever chose to show up in front of everyone? Because he did. And when he did, it didn't end with a fallen statue. It ended with fire falling from the sky. It wasn't supposed to happen like this. Israel wasn't just losing, they were being humiliated. 30,000 men, gone, not wounded, not scattered, dead. And in the middle of the chaos, something unthinkable happened. The Ark was taken, not just any object. This was the Ark of the Covenant, the one thing Israel never treated casually. It wasn't a symbol, it wasn't decoration. It was where God's presence rested. And now, it was in enemy hands. Think about that. The very thing they believed made them untouchable was being carried away like war loot. No lightning struck, no ground opened, no army dropped dead. Just silence. And that silence was louder than anything, because it raised a question no one wanted to ask. Did God just lose? The Philistines didn't hesitate. They didn't fear it. They didn't study it. They didn't question it. They grabbed it, lifted it, and carried it straight into the heart of their strongest city, Ashdod, right into the temple of their god, Dagon, massive, towering, watching over everything. This was their protector, their provider, their proof of power. And now, right in front of him, they placed the Ark, not beside him in respect, not outside in caution, in front of him, like a statement, like they were saying, look, see what we took. See who we defeated. Can you imagine the confidence in that room? The pride, the certainty? They believed this moment settled everything. Their God, greater than Israel's God. Victory was visible. It was physical. It was sitting right there in their temple. But here's what they didn't understand. They didn't bring God into Dagon's house. They brought Dagon into God's presence. And that changes everything, because nothing happened. At first, no shaking, no warning, no voice from heaven, just nightfall. The doors shut, the temple went dark, and everything looked normal. But let me ask you something. What do you think happens when the presence of the real God is left alone, in a room with something pretending to be one? No witnesses, no interruptions, no distractions, just truth and falsehood, facing each other in silence, because whatever was about to happen, it wouldn't need an audience. And by the time morning came, it would already be over. Morning broke quietly, too quietly, the kind of silence that doesn't feel peaceful, it feels wrong. The priests of Dagon walked toward the temple like every other day, same steps, same routine, same confidence. They expected nothing unusual, because why would they? Their God was inside. The ark was inside. Everything was under control, until they opened the doors. They stepped in and stopped. Dead. Because Dagon, their God, the one they trusted, the one they worshipped, was on the ground, face down, in front of the ark. No cracks, no warning signs, just down. For a moment, nobody moved, because this wasn't supposed to be possible. Statues don't fall on their own, not in a sealed temple, not behind locked doors. One of them finally stepped forward, slow, careful, like if he moved too fast, reality would break completely. They lifted Dagon back up, placed him again in his position, fixed the situation, fixed their God. And then they did what humans always do when something doesn't make sense. They pretended it never happened. They left the temple, but they didn't leave peace behind. They left confusion and fear they weren't ready to admit, because one thought kept creeping in. What if it happens again? Night came, and nobody spoke about it. Not out loud, but every guard felt it. Every priest felt it. Something had entered their temple that didn't belong there. Something they couldn't see. Something they couldn't stop. The doors were locked tighter than before. The guards stayed closer. The silence felt heavier, like the air itself was waiting. And then, morning came again. They rushed in, faster this time. No hesitation, no calm steps, just urgency. Something was wrong. They knew it before they even saw it. And when they looked, it wasn't the same as yesterday. Dagon wasn't just down again. This time, it was worse, much worse. His head was gone. His hands were cut off, not broken, not damaged, removed, and placed at the entrance of the temple, like something had taken them and left them there on purpose. The priest froze, because now this wasn't confusion anymore. This was a message, a deliberate act. Something, or someone, had entered that temple in the night, walked past everything they trusted, stood in front of their God, and reduced him to nothing. No noise, no resistance, no explanation, just absolute power. One of the priests backed away slowly, because the question was no longer what happened. The question became, what is inside this temple with us? And worse, why does it seem angry? Because whatever did this didn't just defeat their God. It didn't just knock him down. It dismantled him and left proof behind. No one gave orders after that. No one laughed. No one tried to fix it again. Because deep down, they understood something terrifying. This wasn't a war. This wasn't chance. This was judgment. And once that thought entered the room, nothing felt safe anymore. Not the temple, not the city, not even their God. They didn't speak about it at first, not openly, because saying it out loud would make it real. But by the third day, they couldn't hide it anymore. Something was wrong in Ashdod. It started small, a few people falling sick. No explanation. Then more. Children first, then adults, then leaders. It wasn't a normal illness. It spread too fast, too specific, too targeted. And the moment it spread into the palace, panic finally broke through the silence. Because this wasn't just happening in homes. It was happening everywhere the ark was placed. The priest remembered something they tried to forget. The ark, still inside their land, still with them, still there. And suddenly the connection became impossible to ignore. The moment it arrived, everything started breaking. No enemy army was attacking them. No war was declared, but the city was collapsing anyway. People began whispering in fear, "Send it away." At first, the leaders resisted, because admitting it meant admitting something worse, that their God couldn't stop it, that something inside their own temple had more authority than everything they worshiped. But then the fear turned personal, because the sickness wasn't stopping, and it wasn't random anymore. It felt like pressure, like something tightening around the city, like something was watching and deciding. Night became unbearable. People stopped sleeping. Dogs wouldn't settle. The air felt heavy, like it was charged with something unseen. And the priests finally broke. They called for a meeting. No pride this time. No speeches. Just urgency. Because the question had changed from, what is happening, to, how do we make it stop? Someone finally said it out loud. We send it away. Silence. Because everyone understood what that meant. It meant they were not in control. It meant their God had failed. It meant something else had authority here now. But the city was already suffering. So the decision was made. The ark would be moved, not kept, not studied, not contained, removed. But here's what nobody admitted. They weren't sending it away because they wanted to. They were sending it away because they were afraid of what would happen if they didn't. And that fear changed everything. Because now the ark wasn't just an object anymore. It was treated like something alive, something that changed the environment around it, something they could not understand and could not control. So they prepared to send it to another city, a new place, a different people, as if distance could stop what was already unfolding. But deep down, everyone knew the same thing. This wasn't over. It was only moving. They thought distance would fix it. That was the plan. If Ashdod was collapsing, then move the ark. Take it somewhere else, anywhere else. So they sent it to Gath, a new city, a new people, a new chance to escape whatever was happening. At first, Gath welcomed it, because to them, it wasn't a curse. It was a captured trophy from war, proof that their enemies had fallen. They even tried to celebrate it, but the celebration didn't last, not even long enough to settle, because the same pattern returned. It didn't matter where it went. The moment the ark arrived, something shifted. People began falling sick again. Same fear, same confusion, same helplessness. But this time, it felt faster, more aggressive, like whatever was happening wasn't slowing down anymore. It was learning. The city tried to ignore it at first, but fear doesn't stay quiet for long. It spreads, just like the sickness. And then something new started happening, something worse than sickness, panic. People started reacting strangely, not just illness in their bodies, but something breaking in their minds. They weren't just afraid of getting sick. They were afraid of being near it, near the ark, near whatever was inside it. Because now everyone had the same thought. It followed us here. The leaders met again. This time, there was no debate, no resistance, only urgency. Because denial was no longer an option. They had tried holding it. They had tried moving it. They had tried ignoring it. Nothing worked. It was still happening, still spreading, still present, and worse, it felt intentional, like something was choosing not to let them forget. So they made another decision. Move it again. Another city, another attempt. This time to Ekron. But by now, fear was ahead of them, because word had already spread. Cities were hearing what was happening in Gath. And before the ark even arrived, they were already afraid. The people of Ekron saw the procession coming, and something inside them broke instantly. No celebration, no pride, just panic. They ran to their leaders immediately, and for the first time, there was no confusion in their voices, only desperation. They said, "Bring it here, and you are killing us," because they had heard the stories. Ashdod fell, Gath suffered, and now it was coming to them. And they understood something the others refused to accept earlier. This wasn't random. This wasn't contained. This wasn't local. This was following them. The leaders of Ekron called emergency council immediately. No hesitation this time. No pride left to protect. Only survival. And the question was no longer, where do we put it? It became, how do we get rid of it before it destroys us too? Because now they were certain of one thing. Every city that held it broke, and they were next. Ekron didn't argue, not this time. There was nothing left to debate. The cries of the people had become too loud to ignore. Not prayers, not requests, cries of fear, because the stories were no longer stories anymore. They were reality. Men were dying, families were breaking. The city was falling apart from the inside. And everyone knew the source was still there, the ark, sitting in their land like a silent weight no one could escape. So the leaders made the only decision left. Send it back, not relocate it, not study it, not contain it, return it. But even that word felt dangerous now, because nobody wanted to be the one responsible for carrying it. Nobody wanted to be near it. It had gone from a trophy of war to something no one wanted to be associated with. So they called the priests, and the priests came with fear in their eyes, because they knew something the soldiers didn't fully understand yet. This wasn't just about moving an object, it was about surviving it. They said, if we send it back, we must do it right. Because now they believed the problem wasn't just the ark itself, but how it was being treated, so they prepared offerings. Gold. Not because they thought it would help, but because fear demands compensation. They made golden replicas of what had destroyed them, soaked in symbolism, not as honor, as apology, as desperation. 5 golden tumors, 5 golden rats, a silent admission. We don't understand what this is, but we want it gone. Then came the hardest part. The ark had to be placed on a cart, no human hands guiding it, no army escorting it, just a cart, pulled by cows that had never been trained for war or direction. And even that felt risky, because no one wanted to be the one who moved it incorrectly. The moment it was ready, silence fell over Ekron. Not peace, not relief. Silence of anticipation, because everyone was waiting for something to go wrong, as if the city itself was holding its breath. Then the cart began to move, slowly, unsteadily, heading toward the border, away from them. And for the first time in days, as people didn't feel relief, they felt fear, because nobody knew what would happen next. Would it stop when it left, or would it continue somewhere else, and worse? What if it wasn't the ark causing everything? What if something was attached to it, watching where it went? The cart disappeared into the distance, and Ekron stood still, waiting, listening, not for sound, but for consequences. Because deep down, they all knew the truth now. They hadn't defeated anything. They had only been carrying it, and now it was moving again. It didn't come back the way it left. There was no army escorting it, no celebration, no announcement, just a cart, rolling slowly across the land, pulled by cows that didn't turn left or right. They didn't stop. They didn't wander. They went straight, as if something unseen was guiding them home, across fields, across borders, through silence, until it reached Israel. And when the people of Israel saw it coming, everything stopped, because they recognized it. The ark, the same ark that had been taken in shame, the same ark they thought they had lost forever, now returning, but not carried by soldiers, not reclaimed by war. It was just coming back, and the sight of it broke something inside them. At first, nobody moved, because joy and fear were fighting for control at the same time. Is this deliverance, or is this danger returning home? The cart kept moving until it reached Beth Shemesh, a small town, quiet, unprepared for what was about to arrive. The ark stopped in a field, and the cows stopped. No more movement, just silence. Then something even stranger. The people saw it clearly now. The ark was real. It was there. After everything, after war, after capture, after suffering, it had returned. And for a moment, hope came back. Fast, too fast. People ran toward it. Curiosity overwhelmed fear. They wanted to see it, touch it, confirm it. But what they forgot in that moment was that not everything meant for survival is meant to be approached carelessly. As they gathered around it, something happened, a consequence they did not expect. The same presence that had followed the ark in enemy lands was still not treated lightly. And suddenly, the joy shifted. Confusion, shock, fear again. Because even home didn't feel completely safe around it. The same question returned, but now sharper than before. What exactly are we dealing with? Because it didn't behave like an object. It didn't act like a trophy. It moved like something that carried weight far beyond human understanding. And now it was back in Israel. But nobody truly felt like it had returned. It felt like something had been released and was still unfinished. The ark was not just home, it was unresolved. And somewhere deep down, they all knew. This was only the beginning of something bigger. Because if the God of Israel could do this in silence, to nations far away, what happens when he finally chooses to act openly? Years passed, but the memory never left. Not for Israel, not for the nations around them, because everyone learned the same lesson in different ways. This God does not need armies to win. He does not need noise to act, and he does not need permission to rule. But Israel forgot again. Slowly, quietly, they drifted. Back to idols, back to Baal, back to the idea that maybe many gods exist, and the land fell into spiritual silence again, until a man named Elijah stood up. Not because he was strong, but because he could no longer stay silent. And he walked straight into the center of the problem. King Ahab, Queen Jezebel, and a nation divided between two beliefs. So Elijah spoke a sentence that changed everything. How long will you waver between two opinions? If the Lord is God, follow him. If Baal is God, follow him. Then he made a challenge that no one could ignore. One mountain, Mount Carmel, one altar for Baal, one altar for God, and one question hanging in the air: which God is real? The prophets of Baal went first, 450 of them. They built their altar, placed their sacrifice, and began to call on Baal. At first it was quiet, then louder, then desperate. They shouted, they danced, they screamed. Hours passed, nothing. No fire, no voice, no answer. Elijah watched, and then he spoke. Cold, calm. Shout louder, maybe your God is asleep. The tension broke into chaos. They cut themselves. They cried harder. They pushed themselves further. Still nothing. By evening, they were exhausted, empty, silent. Then Elijah stepped forward. He rebuilt the altar of the Lord, slowly, deliberately. Then he did something no one understood. He poured water over everything. Not once, not twice, but again and again, until the sacrifice was soaked, the wood was soaked, the trench around it filled with water. Impossible. Then he prayed. Not loudly, not desperately, just a few words. And in that moment, everything changed. Fire fell, not a spark, not a flame. A consuming fire from heaven. It burned the sacrifice, the wood, the stones, the dust, even the water, everything. And the people fell to their faces, not confused, not questioning, just overwhelmed, because now it was undeniable. No statue, no idol, no silence, only power. And the question that had been haunting generations was finally answered out loud. The Lord, He is God. The story that began with silence in a foreign temple ended with fire on a mountain, a God that did not speak in noise, but in authority. First, He showed He could humble false gods without lifting a hand. Then He showed He could answer in fire when the world demanded proof. And between silence and fire, one truth remained unshaken. He was never absent. He was never defeated. He was only revealing Himself on His own terms. And the question left for everyone watching is still the same. If this is what He did then, what does that say about everything else you think is in control now?